My name is Dudits, I do builds and stuff. Today I've got a short, quick little video all about a trace rifle that I think will be extremely useful in Heresy. I'm talking about the Chronophage with Destabilising Repulsor. When this first come out, I sort of kept it in the back of my mind because I thought, well, if trace rifles ever get a buff or we get some void seasonal artifact perks, it's going to be really good. So the name is the Chronophage. It is a void trace rifle, adaptive frame. You can get this from the episode Echoes, which you can still do now via the helm. There's a couple of different ways you can get this. You can focus your Echoes engrams, a couple of decent weapons there. But the Chronophage is specifically what we're talking about. Battleground Echoes, you can get them from rewards, and you can also focus the Echo engrams. So that's how to get that. The rolls I like to put on this is Repulsor Brace, defeating a void debuff target, grants an overshield that lasts for an improved duration, and we're also getting Destabilising rounds. Final blows cause targets to become volatile. Cooldown between activations is reduced, that's the enhanced version. Now Destabilising rounds is also getting a buff. I've touched on this on a couple of videos. Destabilising rounds, it's going to grant volatile rounds for 2 seconds if any of the targets are hit by the volatile burst from the initial final blow. So you're going to get volatile rounds, and the cooldown's been reduced to 1.5 seconds. Obviously Destabilising Repulsor is a perfect combination. It's literally 3 overshields, and then it's also got the perk on there, Radio Laria Transposer. But what I'll do really quickly, just go over the other roles, because like I said, I prefer Repulsor Destabilising. But there is some other ones in there, things like Shoot to Loot, Elemental Capacitor, Auto-Loading Holster, Feeding Frenzy, things like that. Desperate Measures, Target Lock isn't too bad, but I don't really find it useful for miners, because this is what you primarily use trace rifles for. And then you've got High Ground, One for All. These are all solid options, but just to clarify, the one I went for was Destabilising Rounds, Repulsor Brace, because of the buffs coming. So basically, with Destabilising rounds, all you really do is just get a kill, and at the moment in time, it's not the buffed version, don't forget. That is going to spread them sort of Destabilising rounds to nearby targets, and then you kill that target because it's void debuffed via the volatile Destabilising. That will give you an overshield. So with the buffs coming, I think just on its own, it's going to be pretty good, just when them buffs come into Destabilising rounds. However, trace rifles are actually getting a buff, 20% versus miners. Now, when you first look at that, you think 20% against miners, it doesn't look that impressive, but it actually is, and I'll tell you why. Because if you're doing things like GMs or sort of hard level lost sectors, miners are still miners, no matter what. It doesn't really matter whether you're in a patrol or a GM or whatever. And just for tight situations like this, for example, you're getting pushed, a 20% extra damage increase against them, and it's like literally a free overshield. So if you're in a tight situation, getting that 20% extra damage against miners in whatever level content you are, that is going to be pretty decent. Plus the buffs to Destabilising rounds and getting the overshield from Repulsor Brace, I think it's going to be really, really decent for endgame stuff for next season. And the ammo economy on trace rifles are pretty solid. As well as the buffs coming, we've also got some seasonal artifact perks. Volatile Marksman, Rapid Void Weapon Precision Hits, and Rapid Void Final Blows grant volatile rounds. And then you've got Maligned Harvest, rapidly applying volatile, causes your next instance of void weapon damage, create a weakening burst. These two work together really nicely, but they're going to work particularly nice with the bottom one, Void Flux. Defeating weakened targets with void weapons applies volatile to nearby targets. Powerful targets increase the radius of the explosion. Now, all them with the 20% damage to trace rifles, plus the buff to Destabilising rounds, in my opinion, are going to make this trace rifle definitely worth a craft. This is why I wanted to put the video out today versus tomorrow. I was going to post it tomorrow, but I thought, well, if it takes your interest or you fancy it, you can go get it from the activities that I mentioned. Now, I know I mentioned like GMs and hard level lost sectors and that lot, but specifically for me, I really think it's going to be really good for like a day one dungeon. Now, if you're on the contest mode, miners are miners, like I said, and if you're having to like do certain sort of mechanics and you've got a couple of ads chasing you, a quick free overshield with the 20% buff and everything you've seen could be extremely helpful for the day one dungeon. I'm not saying for DPS, but just getting that free instant overshield pretty much whenever you want may be extremely helpful. Let me know what you think. I've crafted it, I've got it ready to go. Thanks for watching, have a great day.